Hi, everyone. What a night. This is so cool. This intimate evening surrounded with all these wonderful faces is really cool. I am so happy here to especially be here for my friend, my dear, dear friend, Sunny. I wanted to prepare, spent some time preparing something and then I realized it's all corny and cheesy, so I just threw it away. And I'm gonna just wing it, but Sunny and I have known each other for a while. We met kind of kismet. We got put together by was it Seth? Seth and Evan. Seth and Evan put us together, and we were just chatting. He came over to my house. I got stoned. He didn't. He's responsible. We've had this connection. We've had this friendship. We've had this. I've had the privilege of having this experience with him. Sunny is a deep thinker, a deep feeler, a generous human, a kind human, a brave person, and so bold. Our conversations start at, I had a cheeseburger, and then we end at, do you think God masturbates? And is that okay to say here? We go all the places, and Sunny and I'm so glad to have a friend like this in this business. I'm so glad to have a creative partner like this in this business, in this life. And so before I gush too much and probably cry up here, I know you all know his genius. I know he showed you his ability and his talent, and I'm here to say that this is straight up just the tip of the iceberg. So it's going to be pretty incredible moving forward, watching Sunny do his thing. So I think I'm supposed to flip to a video tribute.
What's the beef with beef?
Around the year Parasite came out, I was getting, I believe, coffee somewhere, and I paid with my credit card, and my legal name is my Korean name, and they tried to call the order with my legal name, and they butchered it. There are a few folks around me that started laughing. And I grabbed my order and I rushed out of there, and I just started thinking about that feeling. You know, when I hear names like director Bong Joon-ho or director Park Chan-wook, I feel proud. People don't make fun of those names, so I just thought, if more Korean names are associated with things that people love, maybe that'll help change the stigma associated with it. That was the first time, I think, professionally I went by Lee Sung Jin. Felt great, so I stuck with it.
And the Emmy goes to
Lee Sung Jin for me.
Lee Sung Jin for me.
Beef received 13 nominations.
So there's this Carl Jung quote, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that really drove a lot of the decision making in terms of our storytelling. Just what are the things that we don't want to admit to each other?
Yeah.
You know,
our show is actually based on a real road rage incident that actually happened to me.
our sense of self is kind of like an illusion.
You gotta take control, man.
I am in control.
Like an octopus, has 8 arms, and each arm actually has its own mini brain. I think that's so interesting because sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder if we are like those arms. We feel individual and separate. But if we can quiet our brains, then we'll realize that we're all a part of this giant octopus.
You just blew my mind.
I certainly don't condone road rage, but sometimes it ends up with you having a show, so I don't know.
I'd love to welcome to the stage a very incredible human being, Sunny Lee Sung Jin.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for this. Um, yeah, no, I was preparing for this speech, you know, thinking about game changer, maybe riff on the word game. And I looked up the speeches of all the previous recipients, and they did that as well. So then I was stuck, and so here I am just expressing all my thoughts transparently as they come to me, as I try to say something poignant yet funny. And I guess in the end, that's kind of what beef was. We just sort of vomited up our insides, Steven, Ali, all of us, and with no mask, no pretension, and you know, that brought me back to the game again, because I'd say in my 20s, all I ever wanted was to be a part of this game, this industry. I've spoken before about how I used to sneak into awards parties like these, partly for the free food, but mostly just because I was very desperate to just be a part of this thing. You know, I'm almost 20 years later now, having written in TV for, I guess, 16 years. I do find myself now wanting to exit the game. That's the irony of all of this. You know, I'm not particularly well suited for the performative aspect of this business. You know, I find that in my 20s and now it's always been the community that stepped up. When I first moved to New York, I moved with all the things in my car, and first day had everything stolen, except for an Aladdin CD. They were like, no, we don't need that. You can keep that, sir. You know, that was my first day, and it was my Asian friends from college that stepped up, and everyone chipped in $20, and they gave me like $600 to like get me back on my feet. It was really generous and nice. And now, 20 years later, as I just want to retire because I'm so tired, it's again the community that steps up. I think, you know, in the last year, I've met so many of you, and you've all been so supportive. You know, you've reminded me why we do this. I feel so much more myself around all of you. So thank you so much. And also I've gotten to meet so many folks who have been changing the game, you know, for years before any of us game changers up here. People like Janet Yang, yes, like Mickey Lee, you know, Director Bong, Director Park, as I mentioned. I mean, there's been so many folks that have been paving the way for all of us so that the game can change, so that we can feel like we can still keep one foot in and keep being allowed to express ourselves transparently and freely. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. This really means a lot, and hope to talk to you more when this is all over. Thanks.